Welcome back. In today's episode, we talk about when is it time to quit? Should you quit? Is it ever right to quit? Stay tuned.
Welcome to this edition of Peak Performers Podcast with your host, Thor Conklin. Thor will be sharing the necessary tools, strategies, and psychology you'll need to become a peak performer in any area of your life or business.
Thor Conklin here. We give you the tricks, the tips, the tools, the strategy, the technology, and the psychology peak performers use in order to get more done and execute at the highest level. If you know what to do but struggle with getting it all done, or simply want to raise your game to the next level, this podcast is for you. Sit back and enjoy.
Today's question comes in from Matt in Ireland, and Matt wants to know, how do you know when to quit? He hears so much about giving it time, never give up, stay on the train, but he wants to know, how do you know if it is time to throw in the towel?
Hey, Matt, how you doing? Haven't you ever heard that quitting is for losers? Well, don't take that advice. There is a good time to quit. Some things you do need to quit. And I'm not talking about the bad things, but getting to your question about your business. This is the formula that I use in any venture that I'm doing. And look, not every venture works out the way you want it to. So first and foremost is you want to make sure, is this venture that you're involved in, is it in alignment with your vision, with your life vision? And if you don't have a life vision, you need to stop right now and go and put it together. You must have a life vision. Otherwise, you're just going through life with, quite frankly, no direction. You got to know what you're aiming for. So first and foremost, life vision. Second, does this area of life, I call them AOLs, your finance, your relationships, your business, your health, your fitness, are all areas of life, AOLs. Is this particular AOL in alignment with your vision? Okay. Now, let's say that all checks out. Great. First question I have for you, your business. Is it a viable business? Let me explain. If you have a business that is preparing apps for BlackBerries, maybe that's not a great business to be in right now, right? World's moving from that. If you're manufacturing floppy disks, maybe not a great business to be in right now. If you're making buggy whips for horse and carriages, maybe not a great business to be in right now. If you are actually in a business that's a viable business, second point, plan. Do you have a good plan? Only you're going to be able to tell me, but is it a good plan? Next one, execution. And this is the big one. Are you actually executing to the level that's necessary in order to make this business succeed at the levels that you want to? Is your team, are they executing at the levels that you need to? This is the one that I find most often is not being done. Could be a great business, it's a good plan, but they're not executing. Next one, is it the right season? In 2009, it wasn't a very good season to be a mortgage broker. Everybody's business was massively off. The mortgage brokerage business, is that a bad business? No. Just in 2009, it just wasn't a great time to be in that business. But it was seasonal. It was going to change and has changed. Is the situation that's going on right now, is this permanent or is it temporary? And that goes back to the season and also goes back to the type of business that you're in. But ask yourself honestly, is this something that's going to persist or is it just temporary? The last one is time. And this is the one that we all get hung up on. Have I given it enough time? Is success right around the corner? You know, in Acres of Diamonds, you know, the story is about stopping just short of your goal. Nobody wants to put in all the effort and then stop short. And I think the media and the self-help gurus and everything else always scream and yell, keep going, keep going, keep going. Well, if you can't honestly answer these first couple questions, the business, a plan, the execution, the season, if you can't answer those honestly and have great answers for them, well, quite frankly, maybe it's not a question of just trying harder, pushing harder, and taking more time in order for it to work. If you can honestly answer all those questions and you do believe you have a good plan, good execution, you've given enough time, but maybe just needs a little bit more time, then what I recommend is the AIP plan, all-in plan. You take 90 days and you go all in. You commit 100% to driving this process home. Now, piece that comes up is you got to be brutally honest. Are you really executing to the level that you need to? Are you really all in, and are you executing? Now, along the way in this 90-day plan, you've got to be checking, you've got to be measuring, and you have to be seeing if you're making any progress. But what you're tracking is the action items that you need to take in order to get that progress. So you need to track and you need to measure. I'll give you a quick story in my particular life. Is many of you know I had a manufacturing company, had it for 8 years, and we did close to $16 million in revenue. But I found myself year after year going up, going down, going up, going down. And before I knew it, I had a $500,000 loss. And then I looked up again, and it was a $750,000 loss. And then one day I looked up, and it was $1 million. And I said, that's it. And the reason was, one, after I lost $1 million, I had enough pain there. But I really looked at, was this in alignment with my vision? Is this who I was meant to be? Was it in alignment with my AOLs? Was the business a great business to be in? Was it going in the right direction? Was it temporary hiccup, or was this going to be a long-term trend? And what I found was my manufacturing costs kept going up. The price I was selling to my clients kept going down. And every single one of my other expenses kept increasing. The long-term prospects for this company were not going to be in alignment with what I wanted out of this particular venture. And after losing $1 million, I said, done. Wasn't an easy decision to come to, but I could have hung out for a few more years and made that million a $2 million loss because I had my attitude and my identity wrapped up in I didn't want to make this thing fail. I could make it work. So sometimes saying enough is enough is good advice.
Love that answer.
Didn't really give you a chance to interject too much there. But, a lot of people ask this question. The key is you really got to make sure that you're executing. And people come back, clients come back all the time and say, yeah, I'm executing. And they're lying to themselves. They're telling themselves a story because when it really comes down to it, they're not executing. They really are. And they think they are. And then they blame it on something else. And that is a recipe for disaster. If you've got any questions or concerns in this area, drop me a line. I'd be more than happy to get on the phone with you for 15 minutes and kind of go through your situation and see what's going on, because hopefully I can give you some insights. But, one way or another, pick up the phone, give me a call, drop it to info@thorconklin.com, and I'd be more than happy to do a free 15-minute consultation call with you.
Yeah, you do have insights to share in that regard. You've been through it yourself.
Yeah, and believe me, I wouldn't want anybody else to have to go through that, because I could have made this call when it was, $500,000 in the hole, and that was, 3 years before it ultimately got killed, and I allowed my ego to get in the way. So
it happens.
Well, and I didn't have this plan and this system then. This system and this plan that I just shared with you is as a result of my pain. This is what I came up with to make sure I never do that again, and hopefully none of you will either. So
thank you, our friend in Ireland. We appreciate you.
Thank you for listening. If you haven't already done so, please head over to iTunes and subscribe to the show. Also, please share this with family, friends, coworkers, or anyone that could benefit from this information. To make it very easy to share these episodes, simply go to my Facebook page, Thor Conklin, click on the episode that you want to share, and you can post it to your timeline. You just might be helping one of your friends on Facebook by sharing it on your page. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at Thor Conklin. The website is thorconklin.com. The email is info@thorconklin. While at the website, please sign up for our weekly newsletter with additional tricks, tips, tools, and psychology on how to be a peak performer. Remember, these episodes are anywhere between 6 and 35 minutes and are meant to be consumed during dot time doing other things. Until tomorrow, have an absolutely amazing day.